What's up, guys? If your hood has psoriasis and you have an XJ, we're going to show you how to fix it. So if you're looking to refinish your factory paint job on your Jeep, on the Cherokees, they're located inside the door jamb, and you want to look where it says paint, and this 3-letter code right here, in my case it's PGF, that's an emerald green metallic. This is the color we'll be respraying the hood. So the first step will be taking the hood off. There's 4 1/2-inch bolts. There's 2 on each side. And then whenever you take these out, there'll be hood shims behind this hinge to line your hood up. You want to remember where they go so your hood lines back up when you put it back on. So we got the hood off, we brought it in, we wiped it down with wax and grease remover. The next step is we want to sand the hood, get rid of all this old paint. So put 320 grit on the DA, and also for safety, don't forget your dust mask. This isn't the correct position for the dust mask. This is. Alright guys, so this is what I want to show you here a little bit. I started sanding this, and we're going to get really lucky with this hood because, as you can see, the base coat and the sealer that's underneath, everything is feathering really nice. And as long as you can get it to feather out really nice and look like that, it's alright to prime on top of that and go ahead and paint on top of that. You don't need to strip it to the bare metal. But if it looks like this when you sand it, everything would have to go. I mean, if you kept sanding, like this is the clear coat, but if the base coat looked like this, and then you sanded further into the original primer sealer, and it looked like this, you're going to have to keep sanding until you get bare metal. Rear brake. Okay guys, we got the hood all sanded down, we got all the old clear coat removed, we're down to a good finish that we can work with, and we blew it all off and cleaned it. Now we got to wipe it down with wax and grease remover and dry it. So the next step you want to do is wipe it all down, and once you wipe it off, you want to follow with a nice clean rag, and you want to dry it off. Alright, so we wiped everything down with wax and grease remover. One last step before we seal this and get it ready for the base coat. You want to use a tack cloth. And all tack cloth does is you take it over the surface and it picks up any lint or anything that might be left behind. Just very gently just wipe it on, that's all there is to it. I am going to use a straight, what they call just a straight sealer. It's just made for sealing. All it will do is like cover these bare edges and seal this old finish and prep it for the new base coat. Now, had this hood been really, really bad that we would have had to sand it clean to the bare metal and start all over again, or somewhere real close to that where you had like 70-80% bare metal, you'd want to seal it a different way. And what you'd want to do is you'd want to seal that with epoxy primer. And on the back of epoxy primer, if you read, they can be used as primer and they can also be used as a sealer. And what you do is you add a little bit of UR reducer to it and it thins it out, and that thinner consistency lets you make a smooth finish. The epoxy primer adheres to bare metal. So if you have a lot of bare metal showing, you don't want to use just straight what they call sealer to seal it, because it doesn't like to stick to a lot of bare metal. It's alright for what they call cutouts and small areas that might show bare metal, but it's not alright to seal a hood that has like I said, like 70-80% of bare metal showing. You'd want to seal that with the epoxy primer. Alright, so we always want to take a moment to remind you to always wear a respirator, always have a good ventilation fan, and just use caution when you do this stuff at home in your garage. You gotta be really careful. About a half hour, the sealer's dry. You can see how it's kind of flashed off. We're getting ready to put the base coat on. We got 3 coats of base down. We let them dry in between each coat. The third coat is flashed. It's been about a half hour. We're ready to start applying some clear coat. Just got done putting 3 coats of clear on this. We chose not to film it because I didn't want to put Brandon in harm while I was clearing this, because the clear fumes are really, really strong. So we kept him out of it. But the clear goes on very similar to what we showed you in base coat. And just follow the instructions on the can and put your 3 coats on, and it's a very similar process. And when you're all done, you should have a gloss. Looks something like this.
Alright, we got the hood back on. It's all finished up. Looking good. So if you guys are wondering how the hell this got here, stay tuned for the next video. Alright guys, if you like our videos,
Be sure to like and subscribe.
and stay tuned for the next episode of Beers and Gears.
Until next time. That should be pretty good.